come up here real close, wait for you guys to come on. Hi everybody, we're going to be hopping in to do some of my favorite medicinal teas plus essential oils. So I'm going to give it just a minute to load. There we go, we're starting to populate. I'm starting to see people hop on. Where are you guys coming in from? Hi Lisa, we need to connect. Nice to see you. Let me know where you guys are coming in from today. We've had people from all over the country coming in, actually all over the world. Maurice is coming in from the Netherlands sometimes. We have Rachel from the Bahamas. Hi Tina. All right, we're gonna give it just another minute to populate and then I'm going to head back behind this. All right, Tina Love. All right, you guys, I need to tell you about Tina Love. If you haven't found her on Facebook, she has been with us at the Rockford Institute for about 1 million years. She's our master herbalist, and she comes in and teaches these amazing herbal, I don't know, Tina, I guess she does some foraging. You know, she's brought her mushrooms in with us. So we have Massachusetts, Virginia, Vermont, New Jersey. I love this. Hi, Robin. More Massachusetts. Hi, Shara. Mwah! Shara, we need to connect. All right, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna hop back behind here. And, oh, let me see. I need to adjust so that you guys can see the whole table we've got going on. Okay, I hope by the time I pop back there, you can see me. Okay, welcome. We are in the middle of construction, so I had to clear everybody out. Mom's on, noon to 1. Kids are, you know, at home upstairs doing school online. And everybody else, I had to say, clear out. Thank you. I'm in a piece of the kitchen. I might flip the camera later and show you what I'm actually in the middle of. But right now, it looks like I'm just in this heavenly spot in my kitchen. And I am in the most heavenly spot in my kitchen. All right, you guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to, on camera, make 3 things for you today. 3 different medicinal teas that are definitely the most powerful thing that I do for immunity through the winter. And I'm gonna start with the one that I don't do regularly, but I do when I have people over. So this is called Golden Milk. And Joelle was here. You guys, did you guys enjoy having me and Joelle tag teaming yesterday? So after that, what we did is we came up to the kitchen and we started preparing the teas. So we put this in the crock pot. You can do this on the stovetop as well. And we made a little medley, which I'll come up and show you. And I'll read to you right now what's in this medley. 4 tablespoons of ground turmeric, 2 teaspoons ground ginger, 2 teaspoons ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon black pepper, 1/8 of a teaspoon ground nutmeg, and 1/8 of a teaspoon ground clove. This is called Golden Milk Mix. So when you're making this, you can actually make one of these ahead of time, and then into the crock pot, you're only going to put 1 heaping tablespoon. Now, I put 1 whole fat, organic coconut milk. We actually made a batch yesterday, and what I'm doing today is just adding to that. So we put, again, 1 whole organic coconut milk in a can. Now, can you get a Cocoa Jack and can you get your own coconuts in and put them in the Vitamix? Absolutely, please do. That's the most medicinal way to do this. I'm always going to take you through good, better, best. Okay, so this is better, better than, I don't know, something you could go get at a coffee shop that's going to have all kinds of sweeteners and chemicals and things that you don't want in it. It's going to be better, but obviously a fresh coconut. Rachel in the Bahamas, you can just go, collect some coconuts off the tree, I'm assuming. I know there's mangoes there. So yeah, so fresh coconut if you have it, otherwise an organic one in a pan. We made a batch yesterday. Now to this, we're gonna add 1 heaping teaspoon of this mix. It already smells delicious. I have my computer back here, so best to probably not set a wet lid on my computer. All right, 1 to 2 teaspoons of sweetener of your choice. Okay, so I'm gonna do a heaping teaspoon of this. And again, this is so anti-inflammatory, it's amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my Manuka also. calls for maple syrup or stevia. Yes, those are absolutely options. But I'm gonna go ahead today and put in some Manuka. Grabbing my spoon. Why am I putting in Manuka? Because our kitchen, as I mentioned, is under construction and we couldn't find the maple syrup. Otherwise, I would have gone with maple syrup, but Manuka is gonna be just fine. So 1 to 2 teaspoons of that. And as you can see, I am not the chef that puts everything in exactly to what it calls for. So this is calling for 1 to 2 teaspoons of Manuka. And what do you think? That's about 1 to 2, right? Yeah. All right. And then some hot water or nut milk. Did I bring the nut milk out? I might not have. I'm not gonna go to the refrigerator to get the nut milk, although, oh no, I see some. All right, you guys, I'm gonna share good, better, best. Every single day of the week, I prefer fresh nut milk, and I love almond milk, I love hemp milk. Again, I haven't even had electricity in my kitchen, so I have been fudging in places I don't usually fudge, including this. So this is a protein milk with almonds and cashews. We have another one that's eight plant proteins that I really like too. They've gotten, admittedly, the store-bought ones have gotten a lot better. I used to not be even able to stomach them. I couldn't stand the taste. But the store-bought ones have gotten a lot better, way less preservatives now, way less sugar than they used to. I literally couldn't stand them, and now I actually don't mind them at all. So there's that. And then 1 can of coconut milk, which I put in before the video started. You're going to get your whisk, which I'm not sure, it was here earlier. It's not here right now. And you're going to whisk this together. And we actually served this at a doTERRA event. We had a large group and people went absolutely bonkers for this. I'm gonna actually taste this. All right, so you'll put it just in a cup. Okay, so this has a good amount of fat in it. And I say that because some of the teas, a ladle would be better, but some of these teas, if you add essential oils to it, you're not going to get a good result because there's no fat to it. So if you're just adding essential oils to a tea, it could, you could get that bite, it could like sting you or burn you a little tiny bit. But because this has fat, it's evenly going to be able to distribute my essential oils. So to this tea, I actually, when we served it to the group, we added a little bit of the cardamom, and you do this at the last minute because oils are fragile and you don't want the heat to damage your essential oils. So therefore, because I'm gonna keep that pot on, I'm gonna put mine right in my cup. Some people don't like it right in the cup, it's too strong. So 1 drop of cardamom and 1 drop of cinnamon. Okay. And then you are good to go. You just made a super therapeutic golden milk. It's really easy, you guys. This is so much fun. When you walk in the house, it smells incredible. And people really love golden milk. It's something that people don't typically make. All right. So yummy. I did something. I'm gonna come around and show you guys. Remember how I've been talking about this book, Modern Essentials? So here's the thing. I'm gonna show you real quick how to use your Modern Essentials book. And we're going to look up cardamom, the oil that we just used. Okay, so the front part of the book, you can look up your essential oils. So let's say you joined doTERRA, you become part of the oil of the month, and you get something. Kelly, you can add black pepper. You can. I didn't, but you can. It's going to give it a bite. But you can definitely, it's going to make it more therapeutic if that's the direction that you want to go. All right, so cardamom there's a page on cardamom. So if you get cardamom, let's say, and you think, well, I put it in my teas, I wonder what it's actually doing for me, then you can go to the cardamom. And it's actually in the botanical family. It's in the ginger family. And the extraction method is steam distilled from seeds. It is primarily good for coughs, digestive support, headaches, inflammation, muscle aches, nausea, and respiratory ailments. And common application methods, then it goes into that as well. You could take a drop under the tongue if you're using it therapeutically. You could put it in capsules, and you can use it as a flavor in cooking or beverages, which is what we're doing. A couple pages later, we're going to head over to the cinnamon. Now, doTERRA sells 2 types of cinnamon. There's cinnamon bark, which is the one with a food label, which is the one that is safe for internal consumption. And then there's cassia, which is something that you would do topically or aromatically. And the cinnamon, we're going to go through it. Again, we're in the botanical family, and it is steamed distilled from bark. Here are some of the uses. It's good for airborne bacteria, bacterial infections, bites, stings, breathing, diabetes, diverticulitis, fungal infections, as a general tonic, immune system infections, low libido, so you can use it for low libido, mold, pancreas support, fatigue, pneumonia, vaginal infections, and for warming the body. Okay, so that is one way that you can use the book. Another way that you can use this book is you say, I think someone was asking yesterday about stretch marks. So you could look that up. I opened up to arthritis. So you might say, wow, I've got some stiffness in my joints. What am I looking at? And you would open up to arthritis. In red are the top oils for that ailment. In orange are the second to top, and green are the third most effective. So for arthritis, it says frankincense, rosemary, marjoram, soothing blend, okay? And then it also says, which is serenity, I believe. I'd have to look up what they're the equivalents. Then it's got eucalyptus, white fir, peppermint, lavender, cypress, and juniper berry. And finally, ginger, Roman chamomile, helichrysum, cedarwood, wintergreen, basil, and clove. Then it tells you there's a little symbol on how to use them, if you need to use them aromatically, topically, or internally. So this is what I mean, you guys. You can't mess this up if you have a Modern Essentials book. You can see I've got it marked, and I use it all the time. All right. Moving on, shall we? I think I will move this to clear a little bit of room so that you can see. I know the one you're waiting for. So you guys showed up today to figure out what I do for coffee replacement. But I'm going to save that one for the last one, and I'm going to give you the medicinal therapeutic ones first. All right, I'm going to set this behind me. All right. Okay, so next up, crock pot number 2. I'm going to pull it around. Tina, actually, if you're still on, Tina Love taught me this recipe. And here's what I love about it. Tina Love. It is so easy and yet so effective. So what you're going to do is fill your crock pot full of water. And there's only 2 ingredients. Tina, what are the ingredients? I can see you right there. You can actually do this 2 ways, right? And Tina did this at the Raw Food Institute. One day she made it. And I said after that, this is years ago, right? I said, forget about it. In all of our winter Raw Food Institutes, because we're cold, we're going to start making this. And it rolled into all of our Raw Food Institute, whether you're there in July or you're there in January. We started making this. It's so potent and so powerful and so easy. Okay, yep. Ginger, yes. So Tina, yeah, ginger and cinnamon. These are cinnamon sticks. So I like a generous amount of ginger. This is going to go with personal preference, and frankly, the longer this stays on, the more potent it becomes. So at the Raw Food Institute, we make this for 24 hours, and they can just go get as much as they can, because when you're doing a lot of raw foods, when you're in a cleanse, or if you're moving through a healing crisis, or you just want to incorporate more raw, or you want to be raw till 6, raw is very, very flexible. And you don't need to be dogmatic, you don't need to be all raw or all vegan, okay? This is raw food. Adding raw food is for everyone. Adding a salad a day, adding green juice, but it can be cooling. So if you don't live in a warm climate, then you want to add some heat, add some teas. So we're adding a generous amount of ginger. Now, ginger can get funky, it can get mold. If then you don't want to use it, obviously. And if you even question it, peel it. This is unpeeled ginger. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in the crock pot. And number 2 is the cinnamon sticks. And you can see that we do this a lot because we order cinnamon sticks in bulk. So it's roughly 10 to 20 cinnamon sticks. And if you do 20, you're going to have a big effect, really, really big effect. So I'm not sure. Let's see how many I get out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Should we go more? Yeah, let's go. Let's go spicy. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, why not? 7, 8, 9, 10. That's gonna be really spicy. If I were you, I would start with 10, because otherwise you might go, woo! That cinnamon and that ginger together is so potent and so absolutely powerful. There's a second way that you can do this, and I've had it, and it's incredible and it's delicious. And the second way is, instead of the cinnamon, you're going to add slices of organic lemon, the whole thing. And it makes it really, really big. It's going to clear you out. Adding ginger through the winter will clear you out. So make this tea. It's going to keep you warm, and it's full of therapeutics. I'm going to probably ask Michelle. And by the way, I want to say thank you to my team. Michelle, Monica, Andrew, Joelle. I couldn't do this without them. This looks like it. I hope that we make it look easy, but there's a whole ton of work that goes into these events. And, you know, so your emails and what the days look like, and, you know, getting the PDFs and making sure that if you miss the live, you get the information. All this stuff happens behind the scenes. So big shout out to my team, because it is absolutely not the Lisa Wilson show. It is Lisa Wilson and a whole bunch of really cool, amazing people doing really amazing stuff behind the scenes. So shout out to you guys. But I was going to say, Michelle, if you're watching this, then please edit it, because when we talked at first, I think we said if you're making the lemon ginger, add lemon essential oil. There's no fat in this one, so it's not going to mix really well. So I would say just go with the lemon and the ginger. So for you butterflies, and anyone, quite frankly, making this soup, you're not going to add an essential oil. You're just going to go with the cinnamon and the ginger. Then you're going to fill this up with water. And you can, you know, turn it up on high, I'd say an hour or two, just until it gets really warm, and then reduce the heat, go to warm, low, or then to warm, and then you can just keep drinking this. Quite frankly, you can keep this on your counter for a couple days, and just keep going back into this. And it's a really, really great thing to add to a cleanse too. I was thinking about doing a water cleanse. That could be fun with you guys one of these days. I've finally, Tina knows all about water. Oh, Tina would be a good person to have on talk about water cleanses. Tina, I think, if I recall, 30 days. She was down in Panama or Costa Rica. And that's how she kind of got into raw foods. It was the only thing that kind of, you know, rebooted her. And for me, I'm super busy. I have kids and we're running here and there. She needs another water fast, she says. I've started to do 2 and 3 days on my own, and I've finally kind of nailed the formula and exactly how to do it so that you have the energy the whole time, so that you're getting the minerals, so that your body and your cells are nourished while doing a water cleanse. So I finally have nailed that one. All right, you guys, drum roll, right? The one you're waiting for. The coffee. All right. So, all right, let's go there. I didn't drink coffee. I worked at National Integrative Health Associates, and I worked with a lot of cancer patients, and they would come to me and I would say, you know, coffee's out, right? It makes your body acidic. Well, we have to revisit that science. Science evolves, science changes, science moves. And so what the anti-aging group of Silicon Valley has actually found out is that coffee is acidic for about a 30-minute window, and then for the next 6 hours has an alkalizing effect on the body. Interesting. Right? So, and actually the thing that gives you the jitters is not the actual caffeine, although that can contribute, but more likely it's the mold in coffees. So about 10 years ago at a David Wolf event, Dave Asprey was speaking, and I missed the first speaker of the day. It was Dave Asprey. And I brought my daughter. It was 7 years ago, okay? Because she's 6 years ago. She's 16, she was almost 7, she'll be 17 in February, and she was 10. So I'm standing there holding her hand. We'd had a leisurely morning, and somebody was speaking. I didn't know it was Dave Asprey, and suddenly a herd of buffaloes came out into the lobby and got in this line that they were in for the next 3 days. And I thought, what did he say in there? Well, he was talking about butter, turning your brain on, burning belly fat, and he was talking about butter coffee, mold-free coffee, butter coffee. Tina says, I remember. Yeah, there were $20 coffees. I bought one. It wasn't a coffee, actually. It was well, maybe it was coffee, but it was an herbal thing too. I bought one. And yeah, it was intense. It was intense. So I'm standing in this line, and after watching all these people wait in line, I went back and I watched what he'd said. I watched his talk, and it was pretty compelling. It was pretty amazing. So I started intermittent fasting, and I started adding coffee to my diet, and it worked for me for many, many years until it didn't work anymore. And that was this year. It was spring, summer of this year. I started just having intestinal discomfort. And I'm going to take a sip of this. I actually made some earlier and put it in here. I didn't know what it was. You know that thing that you love, and it's your coffee, and you don't want to give it up. So I was like, no, it's not the coffee. And so I tried almost everything else, adding probiotic, adding more probiotic rich food, adding probiotics in the morning. It was helping, but it was that low level nausea. And for me, I don't know if you guys are like this, but the last thing on earth I want is to feel nauseous. I can't stand it. I can't stand feeling nauseous. And it was this low level everyday nausea. I mean, I was eating Digestin by doTERRA. It was kind of ridiculous. And so finally I had to face the music, and I had to say, all right, it might be the coffee. And I actually had made a little day trip down, and I got some reflexology from our good friend and master reflexologist, Irina. And when I left, she sent me home with a bag of this. And this is the real story. It actually was open. She said, oh, a friend of mine gave me this, and it's open. But I don't like it. So here you go. So I brought it home, and I was looking at it, and I said to Perry, I said, Irina gave me this, but, I'm not really interested. Throw it away. And he looked at it, and he said, you know what? Let's make it. And so I said, okay, fine. So the next morning I got up, and he figured out how to make my coffee, right? And he's really sweet. Like he'll deliver my coffee in the morning. But that morning he delivered me a cup of rasa. And I was kind of grumpy about it, right? Because I'm looking at it, I'm like, I want my coffee. And I said, thank you. And I drank it, and to my surprise, it was really good. And so that was my first surprise. My second surprise, so I had a second cup. My second surprise was that I didn't get that caffeine headache. All right, so the next day I get up, right? And I've been in this routine of making coffee for 7 years. And so now I'm thinking, I want my coffee, and that's day 2. But if I don't kick the habit on day 2, I'm never going to kick the habit. So I decided to try it. And I've never gone back. And it's been, I don't know what that was. So it's been 6 months or so, May or June. No intestinal discomfort. Gone. In fact, one day, Perry and I went out, we met Joelle and Tanner for Sunday brunch, and I was out, right? And so it was like sidewalk seating. We were in West Hartford, and I was like, I'm gonna get coffee. And I not only got one, but I got a couple cups. And guess what? That afternoon at 3 o'clock, I looked at my husband. I said, if I ever try to do that again, please stop me. Please stop me. Okay, so there is one place, Dom's over in Farmington, that I love their lattes. I really do. And I can still go there and have a latte, and one latte, and it seems to be okay. So I think if we go to that 90-10 rule, 90% of the time we do things really well, and 10% of the time we look the other way. That's kind of the way we run our lives around here. We're not perfect. We're certainly not perfect through this renovation, but 90-10 rule is kind of what we like to do. Okay, so now we're going to make the rasa. All right, let's talk caffeine, right? In a regular cup of coffee, there's 120, I think it's milligrams of caffeine. And there's 3 kinds of rasa. There's medicinal. Let me try to see where the ingredient list is. So here are the ingredients in the regular one. There's no caffeine in this one, okay? This is hickory, burdock, can't read what that says. I'm in denial that I need glasses. Been in denial for a few years now. Sunflower. No, sorry. I got to go further out here. Okay, dandelion roots. Shatari. Ashwagandha. Rhodiola. And organic. Oh, reishi. Chaga and reishi, the last ingredient. Okay, so chaga and reishi. Chaga and reishi are mushrooms. They are wildly medicinal. They are tree mushrooms. And again, when a tree falls, no, not when a tree falls, when a tree needs healing, it grows these mushrooms. And so it is the medicine of the trees. So these are herbals plus mushrooms, medicinal or medical mushrooms. And so this one has no caffeine. This one is plus cacao. So instead of 120 milligrams per cup, this is 5. And yeah, I get the hearts on the cacao, right? This is a good one. And then this one is called Dirty Rasa. So cute, right? And it's got 30 milligrams instead of 120. So it's about a quarter of a regular cup of coffee. If you are addicted to your coffee, you could still blend a little bit of the mold-free coffee, add a sprinkle, like a tablespoon of that or something like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you how I do it. So I've already got the tea. I can't do this on camera because the tea kettle thing is way over there, but I already have the tea boiled. And I'm going to I like to combine them. During the week, I find myself drinking these two, and then when I kind of want to feel all cozy on the weekends, I kind of, crack open the cacao. They have a couple other kinds called Bold. One has like rose and something else. They're really yummy. And this is how I used to make my coffee, actually. I made it in a French press. So yeah, we'll just go for the cacao. I find for about half, a French press that's halfway full, people were asking me what kind of French press, BODUM, and you do want a nice one. The expensive ones with the pressure, when you're putting them up and down, can break. So you do want a nice one. So you'll put about I do heaping tablespoons, 2, 3, 4. We got 5. That's the way it goes. And that's all cacao. Usually, like I said, during the week, I will put 2 tablespoons of this and 2 tablespoons of this. And sometimes, I couldn't find the bold one, but it's around here somewhere. And then you just add your water to steep it. Every morning, I take a short run around what we call the loop. There's 40 houses on this street that we live on, and so it takes about 10 minutes. So what I do is I come in and I drink this little pre-exercise thing, and then I start steeping my tea, and then because it's hot, I wrap a little blanket around it. All right, so that's step 1. Now I'm going to show you step 2. Step 2 is over here. Let me grab it. So I like a latte. I like a creamy coffee. So this, you're going to put in your nut milk. And you're going to ask me, you guys are going to ask me, right? Somebody already asked me what kind. It's a Breville. And when it comes to this steamer, you get what you pay for. So you want to get a nice one, you want to get a Breville. And you can steam your milk. I will I'll come up and I'll pour it in a little cup and I'll show you guys. It comes, can you see that? I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to spill it. It gets it all frothy. You can see it steaming, it's all frothy. And you can steam your own nut milk, and then you can add that and top off your latte with your nut milk. And it's super wickedly, wildly, incredibly delicious. All right. Okay, so that is, and again, I have my extras in here. I put about 3/4 of a cup, the reishi chaga medicinal tea, and then the rest of it is the nut milk. Okay. Last one is something that I've loved for a very long time. A lot of us are friends with Romania. Romania Dean owns this company called the 3 Immortals. I've been a big fan of this. This is chaga, shilajit, and reishi. And I'll just add it to this little cup that I started. But you can just take about 3/4 of a teaspoon of this. This is a great thing to have in the afternoon. There's no caffeine. Some of these things really resemble, I think, as close as you can get to coffee. Maybe, frankly, even better than coffee. And so you can put 3/4 of a teaspoon of that in there. Add some hot water to this. I don't know if I have any left in here, we'll see. All right, so probably half hot water, half nut milk. Stir that up. And this is just a really delicious, warming, therapeutic as well. Therapeutic tea. To any of these, so to this one, we can turn this into Mexican coffee. We can go cinnamon, and we can go with the cardamom. So let's talk cinnamon for just a second. Cinnamon is also known as poor man's insulin. And when you add cinnamon, either in the real, the spice, right, the add spice to it, or you add the oil, it has the ability to lower blood sugar. And so there's a doctor, for example, in Maryland that I used to work with, and how do you get doctors turned on to essential oils? You help fix their problems. Doctors have problems too, and guess what? A lot of medical answers can't solve their problems. And so this particular doctor that I was working with had high blood sugar to the tune of about 180. He wasn't that interested in changing his diet. He liked his bread. Now, you should change your diet, right? When your blood sugar is high, you should change your diet. But we did a little experiment on him, and we started giving him the rotation of cinnamon and cardamom. No, cinnamon, coriander, not cardamom. And in an empty veggie cap, which I've showed you before, and within a very short period of time, it was in the normal range. In fact, I'll say this, anybody who's come through the Raw Food Institute with high blood sugar has never left with high blood sugar. We see it go down within the week. And we have doctors, we have nurses, and it's really unbelievable that you can still find Peter Gauthier this is a good story. Peter Gauthier, he was a client of mine, him and his wife, and they, in McLean years ago, they used to come to my house, we'd hop in the kitchen, do all this stuff. And then he was a pilot, and I have permission to share this story, by the way, it's online if you want to look at it. He was a pilot, and you can't fly as a pilot and be on insulin. No, you're grounded. So he'd gone and he got a physical, and he'd been trying to manage his diabetes with other medications. And he'd been trying to manage it, but it still was creeping up. And they said, you're grounded, you can't fly, which meant your pension, it meant everything, your job, your pension. And he said, Lisa, this can't be happening. And I happened to be running a retreat the next week. So he came through my retreat, and it was 12 days in between his physicals, right? He went right after the retreat also. And so it was 12 days later, and he brought his, the numbers are escaping me. His A1C went from 9.4 to 7.2, which they say is medically impossible. It takes about 3 months for your A1C to catch up. And his blood sugar dropped into the normal range. It was like 300, and it went down into about 110. And he went back to his doctors, and they said, I have no idea what you did, but here's your license to fly. So he had spectacular results, and that's normal. So when I'm working again with people with blood sugar now, if you're on a medication, you have to go through this with your doctor. This is not medical advice, but it will lower your blood sugar. So if you're trying to taper off of it and you're trying to increase your essential oils, you have to work with your doctor, because you could shoot it to be too low. And that's something that you don't want to happen. So work with your doctor if you're trying to reduce the medications that you're on. Now, here's the cool thing about this. You don't even, I shouldn't say this. Do some experiments. I've had clients who, actually, I don't know if she's on the call today, but I know she's been on the last couple days. And it was a family member that had high blood sugar, and all they did is take the cinnamon and put it on the bottom of the feet, and it brought it into the normal range also. So many ways that you can use the cinnamon, but you can put it in your tea. Again, it's called poor man's insulin. So love the medicinal therapeutic use of some of these teas. All right, I'm gonna come close to the camera and see if I can read any of your comments, you guys. I'm gonna bring my tea. Okay, how do you have them take the cinnamon cardamom? In an empty vegetable cap is probably the best way. You could just put it in water, but again, that can aggravate the esophagus. So an empty vegetable cap, and again, less is more. So you'd want to start with like one. I would probably do 1 drop. I'd probably do 2 drops twice a day, and then you can, maybe do 2 drops up to 4 times a day, rotating cinnamon and then cardamom and cinnamon and cardamom. And that, and again, test your results. You want to test all this. Or even, I mean, come on, start with the bottom of the feet and see if you can get a result first without having to take it internally. I would start with the bottom one. Oh, I can scroll up. A1C came down. Okay, so Monica's sharing that her A1C came down with 1 drop of cinnamon in her coffee or rasa daily. So how cool is that, right? I'd be super curious if you want to post it, Monica, what it went from what to what. I love results. This is the thing, you guys. I hope that when I'm getting on these lives, I'm giving you guys useful information for you or your family members, and you're tucking this stuff away should it ever happen to anybody in your family. All right, all right. Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer, your husband's a physician. You know all this stuff. I love it. I love the people in my community. You can only use, no, I didn't say you can only use cassia topically. Oh yeah, yes, because, okay, Michelle. Oh good, Michelle. Michelle, you're the one that told me about a family member that brought the blood sugar down. Yeah, cassia is not designed to be internally, and I can't get, actually, it's from a different part of the plant. And so cassia is a topical one, and cinnamon bark is internal, and yeah, it's a higher quality. Yes, you're going to pay more for the cinnamon bark. But yeah, you want to only use, medicinal teas that way. Or I'm sorry, medicinal oils that way. Okay. Great memories of, yeah, you must have moved, huh, Abby? Right, she's talking about days of West Hartford and Farmington. All right, wow, okay. Post the link to your coffee. Yeah, you guys, I knew, so this is Kayla, my sweet niece, who's now into essential oils. You guys are going to want to get the links. So I'll get with Michelle and we'll post the links, because I know that you'll want like the Bravo, and you'll want to know, even if you don't buy all this stuff at once, you really kind of want it. So, when you're thinking, oh, a holiday present or, whatever, you can tell people where to go and what to get. All right, I will have to cruise through these, and son when he was sick. Okay, so Katie is saying she made this drink for her son. Oh, when he was sick, and it worked wonders along with using the essential oils. He fought the flu and fever off in a day and a half. I think is that the same incident that we were communicating about, Katie, because her son was about to compete in state swim champions. This is last year. And he got sick, and she's like, there's no way he can be sick. And so she called me, and we developed a protocol and hit it hard and fast. And he recovered and was able to actually go and compete, that's what we want, right? We want fast recovery. Nobody likes to go down. So yeah, he was sick with flu and fever, she said, and headed off in a day and a half. That's the thing. Like, you can either avoid going down, or you can shave, a lot of time off actually having to go down, or it cannot be as severe. So really cool. All right, you guys, thank you for that. If there are more questions, let me know. Tomorrow I'm coming on about oral health, and it's a topic that I've wanted to cover for a really long time, because I started personally having some gum recession. It has stopped, and Sharon, I don't know if you're on today, but she messaged me that she's actually had some gum recession too, and it's actually reversed. And she was saying that she went to the dentist recently, and he said, you have the gums of a teenager. So we are going to talk about oral health. We are going to talk about heading off cavities. We are going to talk about how you can avoid some of the stuff that comes with gum recession, because it is not inevitable. You can actually take really good care of your teeth. And, okay, this is pretty cool. I found a teeth whitener, you guys, that's all natural. And none of those like harsh chemicals and stuff. And I will share that with you. I will share tongue scraping, what to use. I will share oil pulling. I will share all the things to use in your bathroom, including infrared light. on your teeth orally. So you don't want to miss that one because upgrading your bathroom, every tooth in your mouth is connected to a meridian. When people would come into Naya with cancer, guess what? Always, you could take that meridian up and there was always something wrong with that tooth. Whether they had a root canal or they had a bridge or they had an infection, you know, that was in the bone, something was always connected to that. So we have to get control of our oral health in order to have super immunity. Okay, hope you guys like this. I want to see pictures of your medicinal teas, and I will see you tomorrow at noon. Have a great day, you guys.